Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought I would kind of talk about bag alternatives, and this isn't like a luxury to drugstore dupe type of situation. This is luxury and just a slightly cheaper luxury, because you guys know everything is so expensive nowadays. I mean, eggs went from $2.99 to now $7.99, and that's what, a $5 difference. So you best believe even $200 difference from one bag to another matters. Obviously there's certain bags that are like, no matter what the price is, I still want to buy, but then there's other bags where 70% of it is functionality and 30% of it is aesthetic. So in this video, you're kind of diving into my mind on how I kind of justify or lean towards buying something else, because I'm more focusing on functionality, less aesthetic, but kind of similar aesthetic at the same time. It's like 70% functionality, 30% aesthetic. So if you guys are interested to kind of see how my mind works when I'm deciding between bags that are similar, then just keep watching. Alrighty, so the first bag is actually pretty new from Prada, and it's called just the leather shoulder bag. So this is what it looks like. Don't tell me that this doesn't look like the carbon copy of the original Ava, or even the updated version of the Ava bag. It's just the Prada version, because it has the adjustable straps on the side. It has the gold hardware, which I love and adore on this bag. I love that this could really get longer, because even with the new medium strapped Ava bag, the adjustable one, it's still, I don't think it could be this long. It's just longer. So I love that this does this. However, this is quite expensive. This is $2,700. And I feel like the alternative to this one, because some people are just like Prada Miu Miu fanatics, and if you haven't heard, there's this amazing bag from Celine called the Ava bag, and they do actually have this available. So the Ava bag in the leather is actually $2,300. $400 is a lot of money. That could be, you know, maybe a trip to New York, a half a trip to Hawaii, you never know, one night stay at a really fancy hotel. The list can go on. Both of these bags I love and adore. They have the same kind of like zipper aspect to them, the hardware. I actually really like this Prada one, but if the Prada one's a little bit too expensive, you know, the Celine one's a good alternative. And you guys know I'm an Ava bag stan from Celine. So what's also really nice is that the Prada one does come in a multitude of colors. It comes in white, and then it does come in black. All of them do have the gold hardware, but by far my favorite is for sure the tan color. It's just so nice, but the price point kind of hurts, because with tax it's basically $3,000, and that's $3,000 is a lot of money for something this shape. So I'm just saying, Celine Ava bag. Next bag I'm going to talk about is a bag that has been non-stop living in my mind. I've mentioned it a little bit before. It's nothing exciting, and I feel like the trend has faded, which has re-established the fact that I love this bag, and it is the Jody bag. So I really like the teen size. However, the teen size is $3,500, but I feel like the teen size is very popular. I know everyone likes the mini, but that is not practical at all. Like, for me to use this bag, why I like this is because it's very understated. Like, if you know Bottega Veneta, you know what brand this is, but there's so many people in the world that don't know what Bottega Veneta Intrecciato weaving looks like. This is available in so many different colors. If I were to get one, I would for sure, I already decided it would be a neutral color, so leaning, my number one choice would be the black one for sure, but I actually really like the travertine color for this as well. I just feel like this would be an amazing travel bag. That's actually what I want to use this for, just kind of so I can put like my camera, my phone. If I get souvenirs, some keychains, I can just pop it in. I don't have to hold it. However, it is really expensive. So they obviously have this available in a slightly bigger size, which I really do love as well. The small Jody is $4,100. That is so much money. It's so much money. So probably with tax and everything, it would be around $4,500. That's $500 away from $5,000. Okay, it's crazy. If it wasn't an issue of price, I would love the small one over the teen, but the teen one is cheaper. Okay, so bank on with me. The reason why I would love to get this bag is because it's very early 2000, like hobo, and you can just chuck a lot of stuff. It's like big but not big at the same time. And the alternative to this bag would be the Celine Romy bag, and the Celine Romy bag comes in two sizes as well. So instead of the teen or the small for the Romy, it would be the medium Romy, which is the initial one that they came out with, and then the large one as well. So the medium one is $2,950, whereas the large size is $3,450. So both of these are still cheaper. So the large Romy bag is still cheaper than the Teen Jody. Of course, the leather is different, the strap is slightly different, but in terms of why I would use this for 100% functionality, they would serve the same purpose. They both have a zipper, they both would be carried over the shoulder. If you guys have seen videos of Lisa using this bag when she goes to the airport, she always carries it kind of like up in the back. She just loves this for travel. Recently I've been seeing her at the airport with the large one for sure. Even before the Romy bag was released in stores, Celine gave Lisa the white one. I believe it was like in an old Instagram post, so that's when I first really liked it. And then a couple people that I watch on YouTube also have the Romy bag, and they just have nothing but good things to say. It's all leather, and I actually really like that the strap is slightly adjustable, whereas obviously the Bottega Veneta one is just a knot. I'm really back and forth on these two bags. I was very close. If I did have the chance to go to Celine in Europe, I honestly would have bought the Romy bag. I love that they're both leather, so I don't really have to worry about it getting scratched. If I got the Romy, I was debating between white, not black, maybe like white or tan, but with the Bottega Veneta one I would lean towards travertine, black, or the tan one. And then comparing that price to Bottega Veneta's $3,500, you know, $500 is a lot, and then plus tax too, you're basically saving like $700. So that's my cheaper alternative, and honestly one that is really just been on my mind. I don't know which one I want, but the Bottega Veneta, I just think it's so expensive. It's so expensive, and I want to say yes, it's worth it, but it's so expensive, like for what it is. Alrighty, so the next bags that I'm going to talk about are crystal bags. So my favorite is definitely the Prada satin crystal bag. This one is $2,700. I think that is so expensive, and I understand like there's crystals everywhere, but still that is crazy expensive. And of course I know that it did get a price increase. I feel like I'd be more justified with this bag if it was around maybe the $2,300 mark would make more sense, but 27, are you joking? But I love, the thing that I love about the crystal bag is that with the crystal and the colors, I feel like it makes the color pop so much more. It makes it look more vibrant. It's beautiful and jeweled. My two favorite ones is the aqua, and I actually really like the mango one, but I call it emerald. I actually really like the bronzy one too, and the yellow and the white. Basically all of the crystal ones I love, but it's so expensive for a Prada re-edition. However, an alternative to that one would be the Givenchy kind of crystal bag. I feel like Givenchy has been like slowly creeping back into the world. Not saying they ever left, but that Antigona era was so definitive of the brand, so I love that they kind of are coming out with new brands. They have like their normal emblem, like, or their normal logo, which they have on basically everything, like all of their makeup and stuff like that, but they have this kind of hobo-ish bag, and there's crystals on this one. I saw a silver one and a pink one that was really pretty, and this one is $2,150. So this is a $600 price difference between the Prada and the Givenchy one. The other benefit of the Givenchy one is that the crystals are slightly smaller, because I know some people think that the Prada one is too much. Like when my best friend saw the Prada crystal bag in person, and she just thought that it was just way too in your face, which I feel like the Givenchy one, because the crystals are smaller and also the shape too, but really the size of the crystals, it makes it look more subdued, a little bit more wearable. The shape is semi-similar because it is still a shoulder bag, but one's obviously a zipper, whereas the other one is more open. But the other cool thing about the Givenchy one is that you can turn it into a longer shoulder strap. It has like the chain detailing, and you can take off the chain, which I think is really cool. My favorite thing about the crystals is that the crystals have the Givenchy logo in it, whereas the Prada one is just crystals everywhere, where this one actually, it's kind of like monogram Givenchy but in crystals, which I think is cool. I love that the strap is like thin, and yeah, so they are different, but if you're having an itch for a luxury crystal bag, I feel like this is a really good alternative. Maybe wait a little bit and see if they come out with new colors, because when the Prada one first got released, the black one was the only one, and then they slowly started to introduce more colors. So depending how popular this bag gets, maybe they'll come out with like a wisteria or an aqua green color. Okay, so the next one, I kind of have three bag options. So the first one is the Chanel 22. I know there's a lot of haters on the Chanel 22 train, but there's also a lot of people that really enjoy it and like it. So just bear with me for a second. The price point hurts. The Chanel 22 is around like $6,100. I believe the small size is like $5,500, and it's essentially like a bucket bag style. And I feel like an alternative for this one is definitely the Loewe Flamenco. Yes, still very different, but it's stringed at the top and it's just like a little pouch base, whereas the Chanel 22 one is just the strap right here. This is in terms of purpose and practicality, I feel like they kind of serve the same purpose. The cool thing about the Flamenco is that you could actually slightly adjust the straps, whereas the Chanel one you can't. They both have multiple different sizes, multiple different colors. I love the, obviously the finish is a little bit different because the Chanel 22 is like a shiny calfskin, whereas the Flamenco I believe is like a Napa calfskin, so it's a lot softer. It doesn't have that sheen to it, but I think they're both hard wearing in their own way. Obviously the downside of the 22, not only the price, but it's the fact that there have been instances where the leather will chip or the glazing will chip, whereas the Flamenco, you best believe that is not happening. If you ever touch the Flamenco, it is so soft. However, really quick, a brand new bag that I think is an even closer alternative to the Chanel 22, but it is a little bit more expensive, is the new Dior Emmy Ami. And I feel like this is such a Chanel 22 dupe because this is $3,900, 40% off of the Chanel 22 price. You still kind of get that level of luxury because Chanel and Dior, a lot of people like compare them, you know, they're kind of like rivals, even though price point wise Chanel is very above. But Dior, you know, is catching up steadily because obviously the Chanel 22 has the Chanel quilts on it, whereas this new Dior bag has the Dior Canache quilts on it. They both have a chain, but the beauty of the Dior one, I feel like, because it has the little grommets on it, so I feel like it won't have the same common issues that the Chanel 22 has. And this one also I really like it too because it has like a chain, whereas the Flamenco is all just a leather strap. So if you really like the Chanel chain, the Dior one also has a chain. You could tell from the pictures too online that the Dior one is on the flatter size as well. So all three of these bags are very like pouchy and flat. So I guess the tier would be the Chanel 22 in terms of like $6,000, and then the Dior one is $3,900, and then if you want to go even cheaper than that, then the Loewe Flamenco. Take with that what you will, but those I feel like are alternatives that are cheaper than the Chanel 22. I feel like depending on the popularity, again, kind of like the Givenchy situation, if the bag does well, they'll add more colors. So maybe wait it out and see if there's another color that'll come out with it. Because if you secretly like the Chanel 22, but the price tag really hurts, I feel like the Dior one would be a really good option, and I don't see anyone wearing the Dior one, so you'd be more special too. Okay, so the last cheaper alternative is, I feel like, one of the most popular first big luxury purchases that a lot of people make since what, 2007, 2008. I've been seeing this since Tumblr days, just everywhere. This is so iconic, and it is the Chanel Signature Classic wallet on chain. I feel like this in black or burgundy was the epitome of the early 2000s, or maybe like early mid 2000s. So like 2008 to 2012, this was everywhere on Tumblr. Everyone wanted this or the burgundy one. That was it, period. I saw this all the time when I would go to like a sushi restaurant or anything. Just everyone had this bag. And it's so funny because back in the day I thought it was overpriced, and now look at it. Back in the day I think it was like $1,700, and now the current price of this bag is like $3,300 for a wallet on chain. I understand it's everyone's go-to, it can fit. Unfortunately, the strap is not adjustable, but you know, aesthetic wise I really like it. It's very minimal but still very iconic Chanel. $3,300 already for a bag is very expensive, let alone a wallet on chain. So I feel like I have a couple alternatives to this, and I have two of them. Both of them are actually from Dior, and both of them are less than $2,000. So the first one I actually was very close to buying, and it is the Dior phone holder. It has like the signature Canache print. Obviously the Chanel one is horizontal, whereas this is vertical, but it still essentially serves the same purpose. It has a strap, like a chain strap. It has a little handle, which is how like the zippers work, and it obviously faces vertical. I tried this on, I actually really like it. I was just waiting for them to come out with this in a different color. It's so sad because this right now is like $1,250, whereas when I first was interested in it, it was $1,050. So it's had like a $200 price increase, which is so much money. I really like it. I feel like if the Lady Dior is out of your reach and you kind of want still a bag, a smaller version of that, I feel like this phone holder is such a good alternative. It's basically kind of like a little taste of Lady Dior, which is really, really nice. And they do have this in patent. They have it in other colors. I remember they had this in like this green iridescent hardware color as well, so that's interesting. And then the second alternative to this is more similar, so it's horizontal. It is called the Dior phone pouch. So this one looks more of like a little bag, to be honest, whereas the other one was very just flat, simple and basic. This one has a little bit more fanciness to it. There's like a little pearl, there's like 2 different types of chains. They have this in a couple different colors. I know they had this in the ethereal green that was super pretty, and then I actually really like this in the white as well. Initially when this came out, like very beginning, I thought it, out of 10 I gave it like maybe a 6, but now I would say I would give it maybe like a 7.5, which is pretty high. 7.5 out of 10 is pretty high. This one is a little bit more expensive. Of course, it has a little more going on, like just the details of the hardware and stuff like that, or the chain. This one is 1,700, but that is still way cheaper. That's basically 50% of the Chanel Walk. So if the Chanel Walk is out of price point for you, I definitely recommend taking a look at either of these Dior ones. If the Dior one comes in just a new color combination, if they come out with one that has rose gold hardware, like that old Carol bag that was like pink denim with the rose gold, if they had that in the phone holder, I would have bought it without a doubt. I wouldn't even be looking. I just like give them my credit card and be like, I'm done, type of a thing. But yes, so those are my kind of bag alternatives. So the way my mind works, I like so many bags. I'm always looking at bags. I'm always looking at new bags. My number one thing on the list that I just told you is me debating between the Bottega Veneta Jody and the Celine Romy bag, because I would love to have both, but I know both would be unnecessary, and the Romy is significantly cheaper, like cheaper enough that I think in terms of travel, especially the fact, not even just that Lisa loves it, but the fact that you see her actually using it and it being her go-to like carry-on airport bag, and the large one is really big. If I were to get the Romy, any of you guys own the Romy, and if you do you guys have the large one or the medium size? Because if I'm using it for travel, I feel like I would lean towards the large, but then I'm thinking, is the large too large and in charge? But as always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps for my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.